Damn it. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Y'all, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I don't know about y'all, but I'm speechless, okay? I'm feeling like a wave of emotions right now. I'm feeling like a wave of, I just thought it would be different. I just thought that we would be moving differently. I thought it would, especially after last episode, I thought my feelings would carry over to this episode, but either I'm easily manipulated or I may just have too much class for myself. Okay. Now, I want to thank all of y'all who are in the chat. How are y'all doing? We have a lot to discuss. Okay. I don't. Team Toro, we're gonna have to take it. We're gonna have to take an L this episode. We're gonna have to take an L. We're gonna have to take an L, y'all. All right. Hey everybody, it's your boy Jeremy Speaks, and I am back with another live video. And this video is none other than my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16 or 17. I can't remember which season it is. Episode 5. Okay? Y'all, we have a lot to discuss. I just want to say a couple things before we really get into it. I feel very uncomfortable. I feel very contemplative, very disgusted, very disappointed, just very disappointed. And as much as I hate to say it, I can see why the fuck they fired her. And in my opinion, she deserves to be fired. In my opinion, from how they edited this or what, but I can understand that. I can understand now. I'm not going to be the one to just because I like somebody or because I have a favorite on the show, I'm going to overlook what's been going on and what's happening. So needless to say, put a 1 in the chat if y'all ready for me to get into this. Put a 1 in the chat. This is going to be a very painful live. I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to get into it. All right. I'm waiting for y'all. Put a 1 in the chat, okay? Also, hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. Just making sure that my audio is good. Echo cancellation, noise suppression. Okay, I think this might be better then. Let me check. Just want to make sure I got my audio right. I'm trying a new streaming service, y'all. It's good. Echo cancellation, noise suppression. All right, cool. All right, so I see ones. All right. So let's get into this. So the episode picks up from the debacle from last episode, and we see how all the girls are handling everything. And we show up at Shamia's house, right? Shamia is greeted by Angela. Angela is coming over to Shamia's house. You know, she tells us that she is very happy that Angela's coming over, that they're in a new space. Angela's happy that they're in a better space now, which really makes me wonder, how exactly do Shamia and Angela get back to where they came from? Is there still an echo? Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, let me see. Lord. Where they came from. Is there still an echo? Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Is it like, but okay, y'all. Can y'all answer me this? Is it so bad that you can't that you won't be able to just listen to this? Is it that bad? Like, is it that bad? Like, let me know. Okay, I'm good on your end. Okay, cool. All right, so let me start over. So we are at Shamia's house where we are greeted by, Angela, and they want to kind of go over everything that had happened at Angela's event, right? So they go sit down in the living room, and Angela and Shamia starts having a conversation about what exactly kicked off and how it got to the point where it went, right? This is when Angela tells us that she's the one who wrote the note about Britney feeling some type of way about the way Kenya's talking to her. Now, y'all, I don't really have a jaw drop that often when it comes to certain things, but I was not expecting it to be Angela as the one who wrote the note. Like, put a 1 in the chat if you were surprised by that, because I know I was. Okay, so Shamia is like, well, you wrote the note? Oh, you sneaky. Like, you sneaky. So Brit comes over. She comes over. They greet Brit, right? And Brit and Angela have a conversation, and she tells her, how do you feel? I'm going to have a lot of people I have to answer to. And Brit is like, who do you have to answer to? She said the owner of the location where you decided to threaten people with guns, whips, chains, and bullet holes and everything else like that, right? Brit's acting like, oh, who do I have to apologize to? I am so sorry. I'll apologize to whoever I need to apologize to. Now, granted, I don't feel that Brit's apologies this episode were 100% genuine. I honestly feel that Brit got a lot of pressure from the producers, and she realized that her spot on the show may be in jeopardy. So I think that she decided to be smart and just bite the bullet and apologize. But they asked her, so what exactly got you to this point? Like, what exactly got you to this point? She was saying, well, every single time I see her, she just gives me bad energy. She just gives me like she's better than me. And, I was just triggered. They go into, Angela writing the note, and, Brit says, so yeah, so you see it. Like, you see it. Angela is saying, I understand my friend. I support my friend, meaning that she doesn't see what Brit is seeing, just like the rest of us. But, you know, she's going to support Brit's feelings because they are friends. I thought I would be upset that Angela wrote the note, but I shockingly was pleased. Because Angela really gives me old school Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know what about Angela I like so much. I actually think I do know what I like about Angela. I know that she has a very grand type of way that she presents herself. She is able to do things sneakily without it coming across malicious. And I can understand that. Like, her writing that note is something that would have happened in like season 6 of Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know? So, but like I was saying, so Brit is telling every damn body, like, you know, just Kenya, she just so rude to me. Like, she just keeps on, you know, doing things to me. And she just keeps on like getting that attitude with me. And like, I just, you know, it just triggered me. Like, I'm new here and I know that it's not just me. I know that she's doing something. And everybody's looking at her like, Brit, bitch, you sound crazy. You know, it's okay to just admit that you may be a fan. Like, it's a little weird for you to figure that Kenya doesn't like you because she didn't give you a hug. Like, you really are a weirdo, and I really don't feel that you should be on the show either. I want to make that be known now. Just because you apologize does not mean I think that you should still be on this show. You need to get your ass as well. You need to get the F as well. We don't want you either, okay? And I'm really upset with you, Kenya. Like, I am going to light Kenya the hell up. And I really hate that I'm gonna have to do that. Because I really don't want to do that. I blame Kelly too. I thought it was Kelly as well. Because I watched Color Me Pink's Real Housewives of Atlanta review, and when she said it was Kelly, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. I thought Brit just made two cars, or it could have been a producer. But to come to find out it was Angela, I was cackling because you would have never guessed that it was Angela. Okay, so Brit says that she is going to be able to take full responsibility for her actions. She knows that she went too far. They asked her, like, so how are you going to make this right? She was like, I'll have to apologize. You know, I'll do that. Shamia said, well, you know, you're going to need to be prepared and, you know, get your lashings from Kenya. And she says, I'm prepared to do that. You know, I'm prepared to do that. I was like, it's so crazy how you want to get the lashings now, but you didn't want to get the lashings from what you initiated at Angela's event. It gives me that the producer said, either you're going to apologize or you're going to get your ass off the show. Which one is it going to be? And now, you know, Brit singing a different tune. Now, all of a sudden, you just feel so in contempt. You just so sorry. You would have never done anything like that. And you were just in such a crazy place. And your auntie died, your uncle died, and everything died. And then it rises. And you just feel so remorseful. And you're going to get some flowers and a bouquet and a card and everything else, girl. At the end of the day, you really don't feel all that you really don't feel all that remorseful about this, because then you got on the social media after all of this was said and done and acted like you didn't do half of the shit that you actually did. And then you were gloating about her getting off of the show when you knew that you initiated half of this situation. Like, Brit, cut the shit. Like, I really don't see it for you. You little nasally frog. I really don't see it for you like that. But needless to say, we move on. So now we are at Angela and her daughter Amari, who is a very beautiful young woman. I was like, wow, this little girl is pretty. Like, let me stop calling her a little girl. She's like 24. I'm only like a good 6 years older than her. But we see Angela, and y'all, Angela look good. Sometimes I don't know if it's the angles that, you know, or the makeup, you know, it's certain, you know, settings where her nose just looks so good on her face. And then there's other times when the nose just don't fit quite the same, you know, like it's a little too tight. Like, you know, have y'all ever saw a big bitch try to put on a sweater? Huh? And you know, like she can put it on, but the seams is busting. Have y'all ever seen that? That's kind of what the nose job gives me. It's kind of like a big hole in a sweater. That's a little bit too tight. Like, you know, you trying to see if you can still fit it just for good time, just for old time's sake. And then you put that shit on and your circulation is cut off. It's like sometimes when Angela smiles, it's like the skin around her nose tightens so much, and then her nose tries to spread because it's a black person's nose, but it can't because it's pinched. So it's like her nose and her face want to do something, but the surgery won't let it happen. We gotta do something. We gotta all go over to Botched, and we're gonna have to try to make a way to get Angela on the show so somehow we can fix these nostrils. We just need them a little bit negrified, if that's a word. Okay. Now, let's move on. Now, she's sitting and talking with her daughter. You know, she's talking to her daughter about the Peruvian coffee. You know, do you still want to do a Peruvian coffee shop? I'm sorry. Do you still want to do a Peruvian coffee shop? You know, the daughter says, of course. You know, Peruvian coffee is the best coffee. She was like, why? Is it so strong? I'm sorry. She said, why? Is it because it's so strong? And the daughter says, Mom, are you serious? Blink twice for yes. And then the daughter says, but let's move on from the coffee. Let's talk about the fact that my grandmother isn't here right now. I thought she was going to be here with all of us. Angela says, well, you know, that kind of blew up. You know, your grandmother called me and said, you know, you need to talk to your daughter. So she said that she was not coming. So Angela lets us know that her and her daughter have been just on their own since she was 7. She says that her father got, you know, unalived somewhere in Chicago when she was just, you know, a little kid. And her daughter has been really tight since then, which I can see. I can see that Amari and her mom have a really good relationship, probably a borderline, you know, that type of relationship that Regina and Toya have, where the daughter could kind of get disrespectful and, you know, have like a spoiled type of essence about her. It's giving that, but it beats having a bad mom, you know, spoiling a kid a little bit too much versus, you know, just abusing the kids. I'll take a spoiling mom over anything. So I don't have too much critiques about that, but my critiques mainly are going to be on the daughter. So she lets us know that she was over to the house that she shares with her grandmother and her aunt. You know, Angela lets us know that her and the grandmother and the aunt all share a house that she bought them. And Amari tells us that she wanted to use the car that her mom got the grandmother, and she makes it a point to say that you know, that's not hers. And she says that they wanted, you know, to get money, right? She says they was telling me I have to pay them to use the car and everything else like that. And she said that her auntie had gotten in her face, said F her, and then tried to fight her. The mom said, why didn't you tell me about this? You should have called me immediately. when this happened. And, you know, I've gave them, you know, them chance after chance, and I always try to protect them, but now I gotta protect my baby. I gotta protect my baby, you know, because, you know, you're my baby. You're grown, and, you know, I love you. And this is when Amari says, well, it's so crazy that they would treat me like that when I literally just put myself out there. I'm giving them money. I'm giving them my time. I'm on their beck and call, and so are you. I was like, Amari, this has nothing to do with your mama. It's more so about you. I was like, it's coming across a little bit manipulative how you're trying to spin this and intertwine your mom in this whole fiasco. And you're trying to basically get her on your side to go against her mom and your aunt, right? So she says to her daughter, she was like, now I forgot what the sister name was, but I'm just gonna say she was like Asia or April go pay for what she did to you. She's not gonna get away with it. And I was like, well, Angela, what you gonna do? You know, somewhere deep inside Angela, you know, somewhere deep down in Angela lies a replica of Veronica Harrington from The Have and the Have-Nots, I believe. Like, it's somewhere in there. She kind of gives me Veronica Harrington, but you know, I don't know. But the daughter says, like, if I were you, I'd cut them off and, you know, stop supporting them. I was like, are you trying to tell her to cut her bipolar old ass mama off? Where do you get, like, who are you? Who are you to tell your mama that she needs to cut? What? Number one, why are you even living with them? If you have all of these problems living with them, why don't you live with your mama? Why don't you have your own apartment? And your mama has all of this money to buy houses, buy nose jobs, buy boobs, buy wigs that's lifting and heat. And she can't get you a down payment on a Toyota Camry? What's going on, Amari? And she was like, you know, I am so sorry. I'm sorry. She says, I am so sorry that this happened to you, baby. But, you know, I just have to protect my child. I have to put my child first. She says, you know, because at the end of the day, you my baby. Even though you're 25, she says, I'm 24. She was like, and even though you got married and you didn't tell me. And then we see this scene and it goes back to her having a conversation with Amari, I think like some months prior. And I'm like, why did we not see this scene? Why are we seeing this scene as in a flashback versus us seeing it when it actually happened? Does that make sense? Like, so we're going to skip this scene that's actually has some, like, you know, breath to it. And we're going to go into a scene where Porsha's acting like she give a damn about making duvets. What's going on? What's going on? Like, I'm not understanding why that was cut in the first place. But one thing I will say is that I really do love the sense of, you know, gentleness that Angela talks to her daughter in. Like, she said, like, you know, why didn't you tell me, baby? I was like, oh Lord. Lord, I wish my mom would talk to me like that. My mama, let me not get into my mother relationship. But like, yeah, my mama don't talk to me gentle like that. Like, I was like, damn. I would really love to have some of that soft maternal energy. And the daughter really just don't know how blessed she is. So she was like, tell you what, Mom. And she was like, that you were married. She was like, I just didn't. I just didn't. So we go back to where we're at in the Cafe Olay, right? And Angela said, like, why didn't you tell me? She was like, well, who even told you that I was married? She says, your grandmother. So she was like, so my grandmother just throwing me under the bus every type of way she can. I was like, is she throwing you under the bus, or is she letting her daughter know that her granddaughter has gotten married and didn't tell her? She was like, why didn't you tell me, Amari? Amari says, I was going to tell you. She says, but it was like 4 months. Amari, it was 4 months. Why wouldn't you tell me? Like, why wouldn't you tell me, Amari? Like, and then she was like, Mom, I can't go back in time, Mom. I can't like go and reverse it. And she was like, it's just so much, like it's just really getting power on Amari Day. And I can't take it. I just can't take it, Mom. It's just too much. It's too much. I was like, hand clap for Amari for manipulating and gaslighting her damn mama. Why didn't you tell your mama that you was married? Why didn't you tell your mama, Amari? You can tell your mama all it is, right? You need to ask your grandmama to use her car. You need to ask your grandmama to live in her house, but you married. Why didn't you tell your mama? It's because you're married to a bum? It's because you were embarrassed to bring this man into your mom and stepfather's household? Is that what it is? You out here cuffing and fucking broke dick? Is that what it is, Amari? And you a good 24 or 25 years old at this point. You're not too far away from me. So I ain't got to discuss you like you a motherfucking child, okay? But I don't like the way you literally knew you were wrong, never gave her an apology, minimized her feelings, and then you acted like a Karen and started crying so she would start to soothe your fake ass feelings. I don't like kids who take advantage of really good parents and manipulate their parents and really don't honor the parents that they have. Because let me tell you something, Amari, it's rough out here. It's rough out here. It's a lot of fucked up parents. So for you to have a mom who truthfully you can go to talk about anything, who really wants to see you thrive, who really wants to see you succeed in life, it's really disgusting for you to do that, but it is what it is. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next scene, right? So we see a scene with Kenya, Kelly, and Porsha. They're all meeting up at Kenya Moore Hair Care, right? It's beautiful in there. The atmosphere just feels so light. It's beautiful. The decorations, everything looks good, right? So Kenya is telling them that she's gonna have models walk in, to the event, right? And we get the models basically doing a little bit of, runway. And so it was very, very reminiscent of the Bailey agency, Coochie Crack Gate. It reminded me so much of that. And I just want to say that Kenya was glowing this whole episode, y'all. Kenya is glowing so much, okay? Jeremy, I need you to speak to my daughter. Chi-Town girl, listen. I might start doing an advice edition of this of my lives. So, do a section where I do do advice, read questions that people want me to answer and stuff like that. Hold on. I've been thirsty all day. But listen. So she goes into telling them how it's been really busy and everything else like that with trying to get everything together for the grand opening. She pops open, a bottle of pink champagne. It looks really good. And, Kelly says, you're such a good host. You're such a good host. She was like, girl, I wasn't always that way. And I was like, Kelly, she's dead ass right. Because then they flashed back to a scene where she was supposed to be hosting a party, hosting a trip, and made sure that she got herself something to eat, but then get her guests anything to eat. And it was very reminiscent of Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Christina, you little slut left. So they get into the whole thing that had happened with Brit and Kenya, right? One thing I will say about this episode, I was refreshingly surprised with what Porsha was saying. I was living for Porsha this episode, y'all. I was living for Porsha, okay? She was giving me my life, all right? Now, Porsha says that, you said that you heard something, very, very dangerous. And I really want to make sure that we really get deep into that. You guys going back and forth at the table is one thing, but you said that you heard something about a pistol. She says, yeah, I did hear something about a pistol. She was like, I didn't make this up. She said something about, I got my gun on me, I got my pistol, my whips, my chains. And like Kelly says, I didn't hear that. I was like, now look here, Treasure Troll. You heard that because you were telling her that she had her mic on while she was saying all of this stuff. So what the fuck do you mean you didn't hear it, Kelly? One thing that's gonna be so funny to me this episode, because Kelly is just nuck if you buck, right? Nuck is a must, right? Luck is a must, right? Nuck if you buck, right? And you fighting for Brit, for the friend that you barely even knew before taping. Yeah, let the camera tell it. You would have thought that Brit and Kelly knew each other before the show. Come to find out, they didn't even know each other until the first day of filming. They're not even friends for real. For you to even be doing all of this, like windmilling for her on her behalf, because later on in the season, y'all not even going to be getting along like that. So what are we really talking about? But Kelly was like, yeah, I didn't hear that, but that's, that's just not her. Like, that's not her. But like, Kenya's like, it is her. It is her. She was like, but I'm just letting you know from my experience. She was like, I understand what you're saying from your experience, but I'm telling you from my experience, that's exactly who she is. And I'm just going off her actions, not how she treated you. Okay? And Kelly was like, I get it, but I'm just letting you know that's how. I was like, Kelly, shut up. Shut up. We don't care about how you feel about Brit or how you and Brit have been treating one another, because skip forward a couple episodes from now, she gonna be calling you a hobbit face, wanted, right? And you're gonna be saying that her husband be popping pills. Crazy how we went from you being the number one Brit cheerleader to you claiming that they be popping pills and shit. So it really is comical to me that how you sitting here fighting for these people that you really don't even know that well. I would have just just shut my mouth. Just been quiet. Because at the end of the day, yes, I may have a good relationship with Brit, but I'm not going to diminish anybody else's experience because of what I believe. On top of me not knowing either one of y'all like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was just weird. But Porsha was saying, yeah, we definitely need to get into it because these are serious accusations. These are serious issues. And, threatening somebody with a gun is crazy. It's never that serious. And I was like, I 100% agree. Okay. Next thing we are seeing Angela, and we got so much Angela this episode, y'all. I was so happy. I really enjoy Angela. I love seeing Angela on my screen. I'm going to probably be Team Angela this season if I'm not You know, if I'm not mistaken, probably by the end of the next episode, depending on how that, you know, shakes out. So we're at Angela and Charles' house. You know, I can't stand Charles' bitch ass, but hey, we're at his house and they're in the bathroom. She calls him in there to see what type of earrings he likes for her to wear. He was like, well, just put your hair down. You know, I was like, come on, like, can we stop the I'm a man trope? Like, at the end of the day, you could tell your wife what the fuck type of earrings she looked best in. Like, she was saying that, do you want to go to the King Moore Hair Spa grand opening? And he was like, I already have here. You know what? I was like, you sound fucking dumb. Because a hair spa are for people who have hair. This is not a hair transplant spa. Like, I really do not like this man, y'all. I really don't like him. Like, I just don't. Like, he really gets underneath my skin. Like, everything he says really pisses me the fuck off. Okay? Like, I just be looking at him like this. Like, he's just like, he's a little, like, he walks around musty. Like, he look like he say, like, you know, wearing deodorant is for women. A real man walks around in his musk. That's what, that, you know, that's the type of stuff that he says, probably. It gives me that. Then he says, I just got a lineup. I was like, bitch, where? Where's the damn lineup? Like, put one in the chat if you've seen the lineup, because I have not seen the lineup. Where's the lineup at? Because that head is still giving Frederick Douglass with a fresh retwist. What are you talking about, Charles? What are we talking about here? So Charles tells us, he says, so what exactly would I be going for? She was like, you know, just to support me. He was like, but ain't no man gonna be there, so why do I need to be there? He was like, I'm not going. All right, so Angela decides to talk to him about what the conversation had transpired between her and Porsha. She says that Porsha said that she has some type of dirt on you. And he says, oh, is Porsha the feds? Is Porsha the feds? Is Porsha the feds? And he was like, did you handle it? Did you handle it? Did you handle it? And she's like, yeah. Yeah, he was like, what you say? He was like, she said, I told her, why would you say that? And Porsha told me that she was just joking, so I just left it alone. I was like, Porsha did not say that. Porsha did not say that she was joking, Angela. Not you lying to your husband like this is your dad. You a grown-ass woman, Angela. You do not have to lie to your man about defending him against accusations about him fucking other bitches behind your back. You do not have to do that, okay? I'll be damned. It was y'all know what this reminded me of. Y'all remember when y'all were kids and you used to get into fights after school and your mama says, well, did you win when you got home? And you knew if you said that you did not win, she was like, either you gonna go fight them and you gonna have to fight me. It reminded me of that. And it made me kind of uncomfortable because the way that he talks to Angela is almost like she is a child. And I don't like that. I really do not like, like nothing about him. Like he ugly looking. He looked like a slave. He got a nasty attitude. He acts like an asshole. You know, at least the nigga could cook. That's one thing, right? So he tells her, like, I'm going downstairs. I'm going downstairs. So she goes downstairs, washes her hands, tries to get a little bit of food. And he gonna say, ain't you gonna wash your hands? She was like, I did wash my hands. So I was like, well, damn, Charles, can the bitch breathe? Can she breathe around you the right way? Do you even like this woman? I really do not like people who be in relationships and be trying to literally roast and saute their partner alive every day. Like if you just gonna live to critique me, tear me down, tell me what I'm doing wrong, why the fuck are you even with me in the first place? Why? It's because you're miserable and you need somebody else to exert your misery upon. Is that why, Charles? You're just he's a bitch. I really don't like him. And then she tries to open up about what's going on with her mother and her sister. And he was like, I don't want to hear that. That's your family. My family is already rough enough. I was like, Charles, what the fuck do you mean that's her family? Y'all motherfuckers are married and y'all are one, right? Ain't that what this is? Nigga, you old and you look like a slave, so I'm pretty sure you knew what the fundamentals of fucking marriage is, especially since you such an old, traditional ass man. You would know that her family becomes your family and your family becomes her family. Other than if it wasn't given, your family is your family and my family is my family, I guarantee you she wouldn't be taking care of your motherfucking side baby, would she? Huh? I get it ain't your family then, is it? Huh? When it comes to the motherfucking side child that you fathered in the marriage, right? Guess that's when the lines start to blur about what's considered family and what's not. But he tells her I don't want to talk about that. I'm like, but I was like, y'all, God knew what he was doing when he made me a man. I'm trying to tell you, I couldn't be no woman. I really could not be. Because the shit that these niggas be trying to do with y'all, I would end up on Snapped. Because you got one time to talk to me real crazy, and baby, I'm out the door. You got one time to cuss at me. You got one time to violate, disrespect me, baby, I am gone. I just pray Angela is not being mistreated in this marriage. I really do pray because, girl, you just got these new titties, this new body, you working out, you got your nose, the LaToya Jackson nose special, you getting new wigs. Please don't waste it on this old Frederick Douglass looking ass nigga and wasting your youth for this old looking ass man who got a nasty ass attitude. Please don't do it. Baby girl, I say I give Angela and Charles maybe a good 8 more years, and I don't know how much longer that's gonna last. Cause I just think that Charles Oakley is the type to drive you crazy. Okay, but let's move on. So now we see Porsha and Brit have a discussion. They have a sit down. And Porsha, must I say, Porsha was eating this scene up. Right? I was so proud of Porsha. It's sometimes like this when I just really fall back in love with Porsha, like how I used to like her when she first came on the show. Like season 5, Porsha was just so bubbly, was just so nice, was just, before we really realized who was underneath everything that, that she had presented to us, because the Porsha we have now is completely different from the Porsha that we saw back then. But it's times like this where I really do miss, having her on my screen like we do now. But she sits down with Brit. She wants to know, so from your perspective, what do you think happened that night? She says, well, I felt disrespected. I felt that, I needed to defend myself. And I was just sick of it. I was just sick of it because at the end of the day, Kenya has just been shading me the whole time. And it's only so much a person can take. I think I may have found my Brit impersonation. I think I might have tapped into it. Y'all, did I tap into my Brit impersonation? I think I may have, bitch. I might be proud of myself, ho. audition for, SNL. So she tells us, it was just so much because every single time she talks to you guys, it's a different type of energy. But when she comes to me, it's like, and, I was just over it. I was just tired of it. Porsha says, well, she never really came at Kelly. She never came at Angela. Why would she choose you? She was like, I couldn't tell you. I can't control that. That has nothing to do with me. But I can only tell you my experience. Porsha says, y'all, we just got a hand clap for Porsha. Because listen, Jeremy said this on the first review that I did of this season. If you go back to my episode 3 review, I literally said this. I literally said these exact words verbatim. She says, so it's easy to have a preconceived notion about Kenya because of what you've seen on TV and be on the defense and feel that anything that she says to you, it's a dig, right? Because it's easy because you saw her on TV going at it with people that she didn't like. But it's very important to understand that, your perception may not be reality, right? And I think that you may have misinterpreted or have preconceived notions that led you to something that may not have been there. And she was like, exactly. I think that's what it is. I think you hit the nail perfectly. And then Porsha is in the confessional saying, she's having all of these preconceived notions about Kenya going at it with people on the show in the past that she didn't like, but she's not realizing that she's trying to go at it with a whole different type of Kenya. And that's not the Kenya that's here today. The Kenya that's here today really could care less. And I was like, oh, Porsha. Yes, Porsha. Say that shit. And then she was like, and I also wanted to ask you about something else. That's how it wasn't her. No, I accidentally did the Brit voice. But Porsha also wanted to ask you about something else. Like Kenya said that you had mentioned something about a gun, about a pistol, and Brit was like, yes, I did. And let me tell you what was going on. It was just so much happening at that point that on top of me being in an environment that I had no idea what was going to happen, I just had to let it be known that I had my gun. It was just, everything was so crazy. And it really shouldn't have come out. I just took it too far. And Porsha was like, yeah, you definitely took it too far. It was definitely uncalled for. Porsha was looking at her like, girl, you fucked up. You fucked up. Like Brit, one thing I will say is that she was apologizing throughout this whole episode. And every time she said that she went too far, that she wanted to make it right, that she wanted to apologize, that she wanted to try to fix and mend things. I was like, please, Kenya, don't do it. I was like, Kenya, please. For the love of God, please, Kenya, don't do this. It's not going to look good on you, sis. You could have did something else, but this was just not it. It just wasn't. So, yeah, he is. He's in the crate right now. Hold on, actually. I'm going to let him out. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Dang. Got a damn crate. All right, I'm back. So y'all, I'm really fretting this. I really wish that it did not have to get to this. Okay. Oh, you want to see the cat? Okay. Hermes, I want to see you. You want to show yourself to the people? Michael, they already know who you are. Aww. Y'all, this is all he be wanting. He just be wanting me to hold him and shit. This all. Yes, I have 2 kids, y'all. 2 of these motherfuckers, okay? I'm a huge, y'all don't know anything about me. I'm a huge animal person. So listen. So now we are at the bus, right? Not the bus, but we are at all the different places, seeing everybody get themselves together, right? We see Angela getting herself together. We see Shamia getting herself together. We see Kelly getting herself together and getting ready to pick up Brit. And I was like, why the fuck is Brit gonna be there at the party? I was like, why didn't Kenya like uninvite her? Then I was like, wow, Kenya wanted her to be there to see what she was doing. I was like, oh girl, oh Kenya. Kenya, you ain't shit. You ain't shit for this. Like, I already know that Malik is gonna like roast me because I'm wrong. Because I was like, I think Kenya Moore is gonna be vindicated. But after this episode, it's not giving vindication at all. Yeah, at all. It's not really giving any of that. But needless to say, we see people start to show up for the event. We see Kenya getting herself ready. I'm going to say it again. Kenya Moore looked so good, so beautiful, so radiant this episode. My God. We see Miss Lawrence come, I think a little bit before the event, and he goes upstairs and he was telling Kenya, how much she really inspired him to really get into the business and, really help him do, get to the place where he could do hair. And he was saying that Kenya was the first one to teach him about putting clips inside of tracks. And I was like hair clips, like hairpins? I was like, even I knew about that. I was like, do y'all even be going to cosmology school? Shout out to Tyler Perry. Like, do y'all even be going there? So we see them have like a very emotional and, very beautiful scene. And I was like, Kenya, oh my God, why would you do this? Why would you do this here? This is your event, girl. You literally have so much positivity, so many people excited to see you, so many people who are there to support you, who are proud of you. Why on earth would you take this moment to do this? Oh, Jesus, y'all. This is like, and it's like they were just building up suspense. And it was just building up. It was just building up, building up, building up, building up. They were just making the suspense for this moment so high. And like, they just built the suspense on what Kenya was doing so high. And then they were degrading everything that Brit did by constantly putting her in scenes where she's apologizing, saying that she was wrong. And I was like, oh my God, Kenya, this just don't look good for you, sis. It don't. It don't. Like you. But like, yeah, let's get into it. Let me put Mr. Whiskers down. Okay. Gonna have a brush in tonight. All right. Y'all, pray for me. because this is going to hurt me to say. So everybody starts to show up. They're like, Kenya has the event decked out. She got cameramen, she got red carpet, she has interviewers. Like, it was a huge, huge, huge production. Huge production. When I tell you, people were just pouring in, telling Kenya, I'm so proud of you, Kenya. Like, I just, I'm so happy to be here to experience this moment with you, Kenya. And y'all, it was just, it looked like this event was so started off so well. You could have almost confused this like with a season finale. Like, that's how big this event came off to me. Right? It came off like a season finale. But it just ended out being a Kenya finale. And I just Kenya, no. Why would you do this? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Y'all, it was bad. I can't even hold you. It's bad. It was bad. They built up so much suspense to see this shit. Like, they was just building up to the climax of Kenya doing the dumb shit and just showing all of these positive things. Like, this person saying that Kenya changed their life. This person and Kenya, like, sparking a whole new friendship. Cynthia there. Everybody was there, just so happy to support. Kenya was such a positive event. Such a positive event. So everybody gets there. Drew is a little bit late, but then we do the hair show. The hair show was fun. It was like a Bonner Brothers hair show, and it was really, really good. It was giving me that movie with Monique when she was doing a hair show, Peaches. It was giving me that, like, very hair show. Everybody was having fun. It was a great event, looked like. And then, y'all, Drew arrives. Right? And she walks up to Porsha, y'all. She walks up to Porsha. Her and Porsha have a conversation, and she's like, Porsha, I just want us to just end this. I just don't want this to continue to go on. And then Portia's like, Drew, I'm not trying to do this with you right now. But she was like, there's nobody else here. Like, what are we waiting on? Like, we can just get this out of the way. This is dumb. I don't want Dennis. We're both going through crazy divorces. I would never do that to you. You can have Dennis's sausage. Porsha was like, you think that's funny? Like, girl, do you want the sausage or not? Do you want it or not? What do you want, Porsha? What is it? But y'all, for a split second this episode, I was very scared for Drew's safety. I was like, Drew, you need to back up like 10 feet because Porsha she about to beat your ass. I'm gonna need you to back up. So Porsha is telling her, like, you knew that you was wrong. You never called me. And she was like, so I didn't call you after my birthday? She was like, girl, everything that's coming out of your mouth is a lie. She was saying, so, like, you didn't get an invite to my birthday party by Dennis? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I didn't do that. And then Porsha says, see, don't do that. Don't talk to me like that. Don't sing at me. Don't be talking to me like you singing because I can make you ring. I was like, she ate that. She ate that up. She ate that up. She ate that up, y'all. She ate that up. She ate that up. I was really afraid for your safety, Drew. I ain't gonna lie. I thought Porsha was gonna snatch you up out that wig. I really did. But Porsha really exercised some self-control. She put that drink down, backed up like 3 feet, and then she walked away. I was like, good thing, because the old Porsha would have dragged Drew by her Go Naked bundles. Okay, by her Go Naked ambassador bundles, she would have been on the ground. Okay, now. Here we go. Kelly and Brit arrive. Y'all, Kelly and Brit arrive. Immediately when Brit comes in, Kenya looks disgusted to see her. Like, she's looking at her like she's the scum of the earth. Brit tries to talk to Kenya. She brought a bouquet of flowers, a card, and Kenya just completely ignores the shit out of her. Right? She was like, it's okay, I understand. Like, I was like, oh my God. Kenya, no. Kenya, abort mission. Kenya, abort mission, bitch. Abort. You looking crazy right now. If you do this, you gonna be looking crazy right now. Because she is literally letting you play in her face. And it's being humble. Like, it's just not a good look for you right now. It's just not. It's just not. So she walks past Brit like Brit is not even there. Brit says, it's okay. I'm going to just leave the flowers here. I really, put a lot in the card that I hope she's able to read because I really, put my heart into it. But I'll just leave. So she leaves. As she's leaving, y'all, I don't think Kenya knew that Brit was leaving at this point. Kenya says, hello, everybody. Everybody, can I get your attention, please? Everybody, can I please get your attention? Can I please get your attention, everybody? Please, can y'all please listen to me? I just want to say something. So Kenya says, I just want to thank everybody who came out here to support me. I want to let every single one of y'all know that this has been hard work. I'm building this for my daughter. Mind y'all, this is just not the casting here. Bitch, these are reporters, interviewers, patrons. Like, this fucking salon is full, like, to capacity, like, in front of everybody. It's not. She didn't just even do this just within the cast. You did this shit in front of everybody. So she says, I just want to thank everybody, because this is something that I'm building for my daughter. But when you're building stuff and you're trying to elevate, bitches are going to hate on you. Like, they are going to hate on you. But you want to know what? I am that bitch. I've been that bitch. I will forever be that bitch. And I will be that bitch in years yet to come. I am that bitch. I was like, oh my God. I was like, Kenya, you look crazy as fuck right now. Abort. I was like, abort mission. Abort mission. Bitch, aren't you getting my beat me 911? Bitch, abort mission. Abort mission, bitch. Stop this. No. Abort mission. What are you doing? No. We don't need to be doing this. Y'all. King then says, yes, bitches stay hating on me, but like always, I pay them dust. And like the blowing went in slow motion. So I was like, oh my God, this bitch listened to Megan Thee Stallion before she got here. Oh my God, the ignorance. Too much. Too much. King was off that Don Julio acting the Fulio. Please, no big legs references in the chat. Please, no big legs references in the chat. Please do not do that cringy shit here. If y'all watch Baddies, y'all know what we talking about. It's this one girl named Big Lex, and she was giving the most cringe confessionals all season long. She was like, I guess that Don Julio got them acting a Fulio. The most cringe shit ever. So not only is that comment cringe, but it matches the level of cringe I was feeling in this scene. Like, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, this scene was so uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable. I was like this. No. It's like, no, please, Kenya. No, please. No, please, Kenya. Don't do this. Y'all. So Kenya says, and I'm like, oh my God. She says, and yes, and I paid that bitch dust. Yes, I did that. And you want to know something else? There was a woman here who I saw at an event that we taped prior to this. I was like, you bitches are just breaking the fourth wall back to back in this season. Like, what's going on? We're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be included in this. Y'all supposed to act like the cameras ain't there. Y'all supposed to act like it's just some damn hidden cameras following y'all life around. That's what it's supposed to be about. I'm tired of y'all motherfuckers constantly breaking the fourth wall. We want real TV back. Please stop breaking the fourth wall. Okay? That's another thing I don't like. It ain't supposed to be us knowing that cameras are there. We just supposed to be feeling like we just some creeps, like, spying on y'all lives for real. And y'all don't know that we just got cameras in hidden places. That's what it's supposed to be. Y'all ain't supposed to be like, hey, cameraman, how you doing today? Like, it ain't supposed to give that. We're supposed to feel like creeps. We ain't supposed to notice an actual cameraman there. Oh, that's a song. I don't know. Oh, child, I thought you was talking about Big Legs. Child, so listen. She was saying, yes, there was a woman there who was coming for me, looking for a moment. Yes, a moment. And y'all know what? Don't come for me unless I send for you. Thank you. I was like, who the fuck said that? Who the fuck said that in the back? Bring your bitch ass out. Don't gas her right now. She drunk. My auntie is drunk. Do not gas her up tonight. Please, somebody take her to the bathroom. Do something. Y'all. And everybody was just looking, just staring at her like they was just uncomfortable. Everybody was just looking like it was so awkward how everybody was cringing and Kenya was just not catching the energy. Like, girl, they were uncomfortable. And then she was like, so yeah, I got into it with somebody and I paid that bitch dust. And you want to know what? She's threatened me with a pistol, everybody. Yes, she did. This woman threatened me with a gun. And everybody, like, not everybody, but it's the same person in the background, like, oh, no, she didn't. Yes, she did. I was like, bring your bitch ass out, whoever's in the background. Bring your bitch ass out. You mother, where the fuck y'all at? Stop gassing her up, bitch. She drunk. She not liable for what she gonna do. Don't y'all care about her? Take her to the bathroom like the girls. Do y'all remember the old Housewives days when we used to bring these hoes to the bathroom? Y'all remember them old Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Atlanta days? When shit started getting crazy, bitch, let's go to the bathroom. That's the only thing to fix it. Bitch, let's go to the toilet. Bitch, let's go to the sink. The bathroom fixes everything. I was like, can somebody please take Kenya to the bathroom? Please. Where is Sheree? Where is Nene? Where is Cynthia? Cynthia was sitting right there. I was like, Cynthia, it's time for you to take this bitch to the bathroom for her to regain her senses. We all know that the bathroom is the medicine for the housewives. If a bitch is acting crazy, if a bitch is getting bucked, if a bitch is having an emotional breakdown, you take these hoes to the bathroom. Damn it. Can somebody get this bitch a Docalax so she can go use the bathroom? I was like, please. Y'all. But she was like, yes, she did that. So yes, she was always on my case, starting mess with me for no reason. And she was all in my business, all in my shit. So you want to know what I did? I looked her up myself. Yeah, I did that. Hold on, y'all. She says, yeah, I did that. And she walks over. Y'all, she walks over. And she was like, yeah, I did that. And I did my research on her. So let's get started. Exhibit number 1. We're gonna act like this is not a picture of vegetables. This is a picture of all of Brit's Edie's surgeries. Okay. So she says, exhibit number 1. This ain't even the hoe's real face. Yes, this is her before and after, and you can see right here she got the nose job and a little bit of Botox and filler and Restylane right here. And if you see right here in the addition of her ass cheek, you can see that she got a little bit of BBL juice in there. But yes, the bitch is not even real like this, bitch. Bad bitch, all natural. Yeah, my ass may be fake, but bitch, we don't talk about it. Yeah, bad bitch. Illegal. You ugly bitches is really boosting my ego. It's me, ho. It's me, ho. Let me stop. So then she says, and yeah, and then this one, fake insurance fraud ho. Everybody, she does insurance fraud. Insurance fraud. Fraud. She's a fraud. She's a fraud on Sunday, a fraud on Monday, a fraud on Tuesday, a fraud on Wednesday, a fraud on Thursday, a fraud on Friday, and a fraud on Saturday. Insurance fraud. Yeah, that. And y'all, while she's doing this, literally the people are just looking like, and y'all, it's this one motherfucker in the background. He's just getting his life. And I guarantee it was the same motherfucker to be like, don't come for me. I was like, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the fuck out. You're contributing to this shit. You're loving this. So then Kenya don't stop there. And then we're in the confessional with Porsha. And Porsha's like, Kenya is just showing these photos. And it's just, where are you going with this exactly? Kenya says, and on top of her being a fraud hoe, she was also a video vixen, busting that pussy wide on Sunday, on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday as well. Yeah, she was out here busting it open while I was getting crowns, being Miss USA, because I am what? That bitch forever will be what? That bitch and will be in the future. That bitch. I was like, my goodness gracious. Kenya. And like, I was just hoping. I was just hoping. Can you please just stop there? Please. For the love of everything in life right now, I pray that you stop right here. Please. For the love of what's good in life. Can we just please? Can we please not? And just say that we did? So then y'all, it don't stop there. So then Kenya says, and one more thing. Brit Edie is a hoe. Brit Edie was doing this, a video vixen, porn star. Y'all see right here that she be sucking dick next to the bell peppers, in the raspberries and shit. Like, Brit is a fucking hoe and she sucks dick. And mind y'all, she don't stop there. She doesn't stop there. She's passing the photo. Y'all, she's passing the photo around. And I don't know if I heard it or if it's in my mind. The same motherfucker who was like, don't come for me. Yeah. He was like, let me see. I was like, get him out of here. Get him out. Get that messy bitch out. And it was just like, and y'all, as she was just passing this around, Shamia's like, Kenya, this is too much. Kenya, this is just too much. Shamia, and Kenya said, it's not too much. She threatened me with a gun. I'm gonna do what I need to do. Y'all, everybody started to walk out of there. And Cynthia walked up to Kenya and she said, Kenya, I don't know what Brit did. I don't know her anyway, but I do know you. And you're better than this. This is beneath you. Like, why would you even do this? And the kid was like, yeah, I know it's beneath me. Yeah, it is beneath me. I was like, well, if it's beneath you, why the fuck did you do it? Why did you do it? Huh? Why is this the way that you decide to go about this? You are like 50 fucking 5 years old, Kenya. 50 fucking 5. And it's a level of fucking class, decorum, grace that you should at least walk around with. And even if Brit Edie didn't come to you and try to apologize, this definitely shouldn't have been what the fuck you decided to do. But the fact that she came there, attempted to give you flowers, give you a card, and tell you that she apologizes and that she's sorry, should have been enough for you to say, you know what? I may not want her here, but I'm not going to go about it that way. I'm not going to, I was going to do that, but I'm not going to do that no more. You know, at least she apologized. I don't fuck with the bitch. I don't have to be cool with the bitch. But at least she did something. Name on one hand, Kenya, when all of those people fucked with you in the past, almost got you, when you got dragged, when your friend got jumped at the pillow party, when they accused you of sleeping with people's husbands, when they were justifying that woman's nephew for almost assaulting you and battering you. How many times did any one of those people apologize for that? I just want to know. You have not gotten many apologies on this show. And this one was one where the woman gave you flowers, a card. Like, Kenya, it's a level of heartlessness that rests within the actions that you took tonight that is really fucking disgusting. I thought I would feel differently. I was hoping that I would, based on what happened last episode, but I don't. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be mortified. You disgrace yourself. You disgrace your daughter. You disgrace your business. This was your grand opening. Beautiful event. Filled with celebrities, paparazzi, interviewers, red carpets, everything. Everybody there to praise you, to uplift you. And you took that moment where you cried for your daughter because you used some of her college money for this business venture. And you decided to make this about Brit. You ought to be fucking ashamed of yourself. What you did was not only callous, it was disgusting. For you to put those motherfucking photos in front of everybody, is really gross. It was really gross. Regardless of when it was a dick beside somebody's face, a dick beside somebody's head, that room was filled with people who had even nothing to do with this show. They were just there to support you. So you just spraying Britney just in front of everybody. In front of everybody. Bitches that you don't even know. You don't know what type of connection they could have to Brit. Police officers. Anything. A room full of fucking people who are there to support you. You took that time to literally degrade somebody else. You ought to be mortified. You ought to be ashamed of your fucking self. And nothing of what you did is justified. Especially when she apologized to you. Brit definitely held shit back from what and lied about what she said, and the bitch should be gone too. She should be gone. But you also failed to tell us that she came to you to apologize. She gave you flowers. You didn't give a fuck about it, right? You did not. Ignored the shit out of her and then proceeded to spray her in front of a room full of people. Now, if you would have just did this amongst the cast, just the 6 of y'all, it would be different for me. I would feel not as bad. I would feel not as much as I'm feeling right now. But it's the fact that it was just men, women. Everything, like, You just spray her in front of all of these people. Bottom line, Brit F around and found out. I don't know. I don't agree. I don't think that Kenya should. I don't think Kenya had to respect her apology. I don't think that Kenya had to forgive her or anything else like that. But I just don't think that this was the way to go about it. I don't. And as much as we want to, fight for Kenya, this did nothing but make Kenya look bad. This did nothing but make Kenya look bad. Kenya does not look good. This is bad. This is fucked up. Like, she looks terrible. Like, it's no... Y'all, everybody started to walk out. Everybody was looking disgusted. Kenya, I don't know if she was drunk. I don't know if she was just intoxicated. I know I'm entitled to my opinion. I know, because, this is my channel. It's about my opinion. But, what I'm saying is that this type of action wasn't necessary. I don't know. I would, if you would have called the cops on her, if you would have just sprayed her with just bullets of what you found out, but to include pictures, I guess allegedly, of her sucking dick, is insane to do that in front of a room full of people. I just don't, and I just wish that Kenya and Brit were able to have a meeting before this event. This was just very, very disgusting, y'all. Yeah, but the screen goes black, y'all, as everybody's walking out. Porsha says, turn the fucking camera off. I don't even want the camera on. Okay? I don't even want the camera on. The screen fades to black and it says, due to the graphic nature of Kenya's photos, we have ceased production with her this season and she will no longer be on the rest of the season. And I was like, oh my God. What a tacky, tasteless exit that was. I don't care what anybody says. We could be Team Kenya. I'm Team Kenya. We don't know this bitch. We don't know this lady. It's very important for us to be honest about things. This shit was tacky, it was tasteless, and it was unbecoming. And if I was her, I don't know, I would get a pastor, I would get a sage, I would get something, and I would cleanse that building. Because it looked like the energy that was in there, it looked bad. It looked like something, it looked like it was just leaving an everlasting, I would just want it cleansed. Kenya would have had everybody on her side if she had handled this differently. Brit did the most and was clearly determined to have a problem with Kenya. Absolutely, and that's what's getting me, because Porsha was definitely ready to be on her side. She was fighting for her this whole episode. I just don't understand why would this be what you think to do? I don't know. But I'm disappointed. A lot bit disgusted if I'm being honest. And I don't like what I saw tonight. I don't. And I wish that she had made different decisions. And it's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But Y'all listen, that's the end of the live. That's all I have. I hope y'all enjoyed this. You know, I had fun making it. You know, I did my live on Sunday. Please expect the pre-recorded version of this live to be uploaded at least by Thursday or Wednesday. Okay, so I'll see y'all soon. You know, I'm trying to decide again when I'm going to resume doing my pop topics. Maybe I'll reach out to y'all, do a poll and see when y'all would want me to do that. I was Team Kenya until tonight. Everyone wanted to jump on Cynthia about what she said was spot on. What Kenya did during her own event was so beneath Kenya. Self-sabotage. Absolutely. One can tell somebody how to respond. That is correct. But one can tell themselves how to respond. Nobody tells you how to respond to anything, but maybe your response may not always be the correct thing that you should be doing. That's a little bit dumb. That's a very weird way. If production had stepped in, it never would have happened. I agree, but I low key think that production is the one who told Britney that she needed to apologize. Like, I don't think Brit would have apologized if, you know, they did not make her. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. You can, and let me tell you something. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of story, right? I had a friend, right, who I was really, really cool with. Really, really cool with. And me and her eventually ended up becoming roommates, right? Her and a dude who I wasn't really that cool with, you know, anymore at the time. I had cut him off. You know, they ended up going to like some type of gala together, right? And at that gala, I was brought up, and they had spread a rumor that I was going around fucking this dude who was married. Now, mind you, I'm friends with the dude and his husband. So that just put a very awkward situation in play. It was so many things in my mind that I thought I wanted to do. I knew where his house was. I could have slashed his tires. I could have busted his windows. I knew the time that he worked, the time that he got off, and I was so close. I remember one time I even rolled by his house just to see if he was, because I was about to slash them tires. But in my mind, I was saying, this is not worth it. This is beneath me. I'm going to pay this bitch dust, and he will never talk to me again. He would never talk to me again. And I avoided doing something that could have potentially got me consequences that I don't think I was going to be ready for. And it's all about you know, the reaction, right? It's all about the consequences that you're ready to face with that. How you decide to respond. That's just class, you know? Everyone keeps saying it's below Kenya, but is it? This is right up her alley. I don't think that this is right up her alley. That's the thing, this Cat Rock. She wanted her there to see it. She wanted her to come and see all the shit that she had on her. Like, that's the crazy part. Like you didn't rescind your invite. Like, you knew that when Brit came to her to apologize, Kenya ignored her and then began to expose her. It's just that Brit left right before she started. And I'm saying, this is your grand event. Why would you do this there? Why? Why not do just an only cast event? Like, just a cast event. Like, you know, get a teleprompter, put it in your house, and just show everybody all the stuff that you found out on Brit there. You did this in a room full of reporters, interviewers, Atlanta celebrities, bloggers, everything. Like, that shit is insane. And y'all talking about like tit for tat, like, girl, this made her look bad. This did nothing for the hair care spa. Because at the end of the day, all of what we saw doesn't even matter anymore. I don't even remember it, because what I do remember is Kenya drunkenly going around talking about how she been that bitch and then exposing Brit, which is really sad. This wasn't it. But y'all listen, I can't be going back and forth all day. I said what I said. Okay? I'm not going back and forth. Oh my God. I ain't going back and forth. All right, y'all, but listen, I have to go. I'm about to go get ready to take my shower. Let down. Lay your head on my pillow. Lay down. All right, y'all, but I want you guys to know that you are loved, that you are cared for, and I want you guys to know that you do have purpose and that you guys are meant to be here. And I want you guys to know if nobody told you today that you are loved, and I love you, okay? Love yourself, because when you don't, you degrade and, drag other hoes and make yourself look bad. And that's not what we want. Let's hope Kenya can rebound her way back to the next season. And, we can try to make this right. All right. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening. I plan on doing the same, y'all. And I just want to thank you guys so much for coming to my stream. All right. Peace. Okay. All right. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. Okay, gotcha.